Gonna pants the ghost? Like, what's his purpose? The only thing, seriously, if you actually think about it objectively, the only, like, magical stuff that our boy's really good at, apparently, is sleeping with ghosts. So maybe this is his forte, man. I don't know. Maybe the three amigos back home taught him how to deal with this guy. I don't know. Oh, I love the sketch design that almost feels like it has, mixed with all the dust effects. I think this is the coolest character design I've seen all season. Now, some of you will be like, yeah, I get it. It looks cool. And then other people are like, how could you say that? Insert blah, blah, blah. The style for this thing is the coolest shit. Oh my god, this is so cool. You add a little boys love to this and we'd be cooking. The shippers on Rule 34 will will do you well, I suppose. Do you just eat the remnants of things we kill and get stronger because of it? Sure, we need a camera for our late night adventure with ghosts. Seriously, I'm just saying the Queen of Hearts. That's what I'm saying if I'm getting dragged back here. So here's the thing with old Disney Twisted Wonderland. We've seen that this show can have action. The first episode, right? You know, during the end of the episode, it showcased the flame animation and everything else. We know the show could cook visually. But episode 3 is the first time we properly witness what it was capable of in terms of action. Because rather than like a 2 or 3 minute fight scene, like a third of the episode was one big action spectacle. And I don't even know what to refer to the thing that they fought as. I thought we were going to fight a dwarf that went haywire. I don't know, maybe a dwarf did die and became some weird Santa Claus, Mysterio, ghost-like thing. It's probably the coolest design I've seen all season, if I'm being real. But a floating ghost with a jar of water on its head and a giant old pickaxe and a lantern that looks like it could have been with a Poe from The Legend of Zelda. It attacks them. And it's like a multi-phase fight. And I think that's what's so brilliant. It starts with them in the cave fighting, and then you think it's all done, and then it jumps us again outside. It's just... it kept going on. It didn't overstay its welcome, but so, like, during the entire fight, I thought, okay, it's over. I'm like, oh, actually, color me surprised. The Disney Isekai not only is extending fights to the appropriate length, which, hell, a lot of battle shonens don't even do anymore, it's also utilizing the overall environment to the fight in a way that you don't always see. This is something I've said consistently on the channel throughout many different shows, but one of the things that I'm always really impressed by is when the environment that the characters are surrounded by plays a factor to the fight. Whether that's characters, I can think of stuff like in To Be Hero X, which wasn't too long ago. Characters being thrown through things and actually utilizing the environment. It's a really impressive way to add an element of stake and also just creativity to a fight. So by starting the fight off in a cave, the ceiling's fairly low, the walls are pretty close together, a giant beast like that swinging around a goddamn pickaxe, you should have rocks falling characters, which happens. You should feel cramped and isolated. Yeah, like they utilized it so well, to the point that I leave the third episode of Disney Twisted Wonderland saying, is the week just getting started? Yeah. Is Gachakuda this week gonna probably cook an amazing action episode? You bet your sweet ass it will. Well, My Hero, I don't know, because My Hero's at a point where it's not really action-based, but maybe it will cook a good fight. Has potential, the whole season's been for the most part. Yet I'm leaving episode 3 of the Disney Isekai saying this very well has a 90% chance of being my fight of the week, which you never would have caught me saying if you would have asked me episode 1 or 2 if I thought I'd be saying that. I'd say, no, Gachakuda or My Hero would absolutely slap on it. No, Disney Isekai, baby. That's impressive. Now, of course, you got this far in the video, make sure you drop a like on the video, show your support, subscribe if you're new around here, and yes, Patreon's where you can catch my full live reactions to all these episodes and more. If you also want to help fund the channel and videos just like the one you're watching, and yes, also, we are doing a giveaway to a 1-year membership to the Patreon, so if you join before the end of this month, you get entered into it. There's a lot of like little things I like outside of obviously the action. Like, I'm not just monkey brain about it. I am a monkey brain. Oonga boonga, explosion go brrr. I love it, okay? I'm not going to deny that. But I also need to have like a story beat with that action to keep me interested long term. So by introducing the, we gonna get expelled if we don't find a crystal, this thing's gonna be protecting a crystal, story has, you know, the action has a story, I can focus on it. The thing that's kind of interesting is, from the beginning, I think we all had the same question. Why is MCU a part of a world that's only based around magic? Doesn't really make sense. It had to have had a reason, and I think we kind of have the answer to that question now. Now, not explicitly, but I think if you take a step back and analyze the information, Yu is kind of the bridge to bringing a lot of characters together. So he does get enrolled in the school as a duo with Grimm. Now, Grimm wants to be a student. Grimm can't be a student by himself. Yu can't be a student because he doesn't have magic, but them as a combo is like a kind of familiar partner duo. Makes sense for that. But the idea that it's funny because I was memeing it throughout the whole episode, and I still think it's funny because objectively, he didn't do a whole lot. Like, was he kind of the Pokemon trainer that gave orders and helped formation? Sure, I'm not saying he wasn't useful, but in the grand picture, everyone else was doing the heavy lifting. He was just kind of being like, Pikachu, use quick attack, you know? But at the end of the day, objectively, these people wouldn't have worked together, especially this well, if it wasn't for him. 3 very different walks of life with 3 very different MC level, I'm the MC of this story energy. He's the reason the plan worked. And the idea that there's a fit for that. I have to imagine old Cart Coon, because, you know, we don't have Truck Coon in this world, we got the horse-drawn carriage. Brought him there for a reason, because he's probably the perfect fit for this group of students in order to allow them to reach the destinations they need. Maybe they're going to be a big threat at some point in this story hook, and, you know, him bringing everyone together and having them work together in the proper formation as kind of like a general, you know, that's kind of how I'm going to view it. It's not really like wartime general, but you get my point. Like, maybe that's why. I think they answered it with this week's episode. Though I do gotta love the fact, like, one of my most hated Disney characters, like, not in a way that I think, oh, the character existing is bad. Like, the character does what it needs to. But the Queen of Hearts sucks. Like, she is just a bitch. Like, there's no redeeming qualities, if you ask me. It's one of my most despised Disney characters. Like I said, I wouldn't want her to not exist, but she a bitch. Ain't gonna have no tea with that bitch. Buddy, who basically represents the Queen of Hearts, oh, I just don't got a good feeling about him. I just don't like him. Like, I like him because he serves as an arrogant foil, but I don't like him as a person. You know the difference? But either way, this was a great episode. Like, this is how I would rank the episodes, right? Here's the floor. Episode 1. Ooh. Okay. And then episode 2. Pretty good improvement. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, I wasn't expecting that. So if this was where episode 2 was, episode 1, you know, nice gradual, pretty drastic jump this one. I think I do these anime tier lists, right? I do them on Tuesday, so just the day before the Disney episodes. And I think, like, obviously I'll let it sit. We'll get to it next week. I think we've reached the great category for me. I think it's been a good show up to this point, but I think we finally reached great. Will it reach amazing? Maybe even peak? Maybe. But honestly, if they keep it at like episode 2 or 3 quality for the rest of this 8 episodes, I'd be a happy camper overall. Love exploring the world. There's that one video game. I haven't played it, but I've seen clips. Disney Valley Dreamlight, something like that. And you kind of like, I think it's like you just kind of explore Disney stuff and like you build your own little world. I might be getting that completely wrong. But I don't know. Sometimes like when I'm just like looking at the characters explore this world, I think to myself, man, I just feel like I'm exploring a Disney amusement park, and I love it. I think it has the best visual flair, at least for backgrounds, of the season by far. Great episode. Never thought I would say this about Disney Isekai, but best action of the week, I think we were going to experience it. Though if I change my tune with Gachakuda, I'm not a hypocrite. That show just be built different. Thoughts down below. Drop a like, share, support, subscribe if you're new around here. Of course, patrons where you can catch those full live reactions, all this and more. And hey, I also like to give video shoutouts to those patrons. All right, so today we got Shareable Cockris, Brian Mifsud, Walkit866, Andy, Joseph, Little Bandit, and we also have 46. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care. You know, have a good one.